Open world games are filled with surprises, and some of the places you will find are kind of spooky. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 creepy locations discovered in open world games. Starting off with number 10, it's the Children of the Ark ritual site in Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Out in the Badlands south of Night City, you might stumble upon this unnerving location. It's an unpleasant spot, no matter what time of day it is, but at night it's especially disturbing. All you see at first is a group of dead bodies and some kind of ritual circle, which is bad enough, but under closer inspection you can see they've all got heavy wires attached to their heads that are all seemingly blown out. At night these wires are still glowing menacingly though, leaving you to wonder what's supposed to be happening here. Keep searching, you'll find a lootable body in a chair where all the wires converge. They have some useful hacks and a note on them called the Children of the Ark Testament, and goes on to give you a clue about what happened. Essentially, these are cult members, but I mean, you probably figured that out just from looking at it. Some kind of cult thing going on here, right? But they believed that the AIs behind the Black Wall are going to lead to the end of the world, so they wanted to upload their brains into an ark and launch it into space. To transfer themselves into the computer, they all had to die in the process. There is, of course, no way to know for sure if this worked. And also, we all know how Soma worked out, so if it did, I don't know if that's great. But it's unlikely a bunch of people in the middle of the desert had the tools to launch a satellite into space. Looks like they tried, at very least, though. Moving on to number 9, it's the Safe House Gamma in Starfield. Sometimes Starfield can really surprise you with an especially creepy point of interest. Most of the places you end up exploring this game, they're just filled with enemies or loot, but Safe House Gamma on Andromeda's 2 is different. There's a sinister atmosphere to the place the moment you step inside, with this unpleasant banging sound echoing through the halls. There's nothing else here, at least at first. Just a bunch of totally empty rooms, an uncomfortably long hall, and a whole lot of unnervingly loud noises. It's like how a Silent Hill game will just hit you with these loud industrial sounds to overwhelm your senses and maybe throw you off some. It just goes to show that when it comes to horror, sometimes less is more. All you need is some dark rooms and an oppressive soundscape. The horror kind of just flows in naturally with that stuff. Another thing that makes this place so unnerving is how normal it looks. The place appears almost untouched. There's nobody here. Clearly there's something wrong, but it's not clear exactly what is wrong. At the end of the hall, you finally get a solid clue about what's happening with this message. It says how everyone's dead, they're probably next. Decide a switch, turn on the power, blah, blah, blah. So you turn everything on, and that makes the banging stop, but there's something new. There's a tunnel dug into the wall on the opposite end of the long hallway. If you go inside, you come face to face with the creature that killed everybody, a terror morph. If this is the first time you have encountered one of them, it's going to be a shock, because at low levels, these things hit like a dump truck. And what makes this so effective is how unexpected it is. It's got a slow build-up, the reveal's well done. Even if the actual creature at the end isn't the scariest thing in the world, the mindset the game puts you into makes it scarier than it is. And this is the kind of thing that I think Starfield deserves a little more credit on. This game was called a disaster for what seems like no real reason. I mean, it's not like an innovative game or anything, but like I said previously, it's got a lot of content in it, and the content is pretty good. That's really what you're here for with a Bethesda game at this point, I would think. And this is a good example of what they know how to do right. A good example of what they know how to do wrong is continuing to use that damn engine, but, we'll take what we can get. And number 8 is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth's Dondoko Island Waterfall. One of the most bizarre minigames in the entire Yakuza / Like a Dragon series is this. Dondoko Island. It's Animal Crossing, but you have a barbed wire baseball bat. The crossover episode everyone wanted, apparently. If people in mascot costumes give you the creeps, this place isn't going to do you any favors. With its two disturbing mascots, Gachapin and Muku. Look at them. Yikes. And this game knows exactly what it's doing with these little weirdos, which is why after you complete the Dundoko Island side story, you get a few bonus missions at the end. They're pretty easy to miss unless you're really into Dundoko Island, because there's nothing to do here at this point, so most players move on. If you do stick around, some of the employees will notice a strange figure at night under the waterfall. They think this mysterious character is the Dundoko Island Hermit, and of course you have to investigate. Swim to the waterfall at night, and you're treated to this frightening scene. Well, frightening at first. It's pretty obviously a joke, but there's something uncomfortable about Muku's dead eyes and weird mouth. It's played for laugh, but that moment when the camera zooms out and there's another Muku at the top of the waterfall, I get chills. It's weird.
Dondoko! Let's have fun together on Dondoko Island! Get ready for nature and dreams, even trash and danger.
We can't say that, you know.
From kids to adults, there's something for everyone here.
The ultimate getaway, Dondoko Island.
Feeling low? Just Dondoko!
And number 7 is Spider-Man 2's Strange Hideout. Another little secret thing that isn't exactly creepy visually, but its place in the game makes it strange and off-putting. In the Upper West Side, you can find this weirdly detailed building that never comes into play in the main story. It's got a fully modeled interior with these strange symbols and racks of machine guns everywhere. It's one of the few city interiors you can just see from the outside, but what purpose does it serve exactly? Why is it here? And what's with all the firepower? Go to the opposite end of the building, you find a fully modeled bookstore that's actually attached to this space, and funny enough, you can actually go inside. Looks like your average bookstore, but the weird cow skulls and occult symbols suggest there's more going on. Oh yeah, and the see-through bookcase that opens up and there's a hideout. Like I said, there's nothing particularly terrifying about this stuff, but whenever you're exploring a place that feels like you're not meant to see, it feels off-putting. This place is probably going to tie into a future DLC or something, but right now, it's just a weird kind of half-finished area that's in the main game. Being in this place feels like you're not supposed to be in this place. I mean, you can clip right through the chair beside the see-through bookcase, which sort of gives this liminal feeling of a place that isn't quite right. And that puts me on edge. I don't know if it does with you, but it's one of those unique things only video games can do. They can make even mundane places seem kind of creepy with the right context, even if that context isn't entirely intentional. At number 6, the Stargazer Ruins in Elden Ring. The game's open world setting is as much horror as it is fantasy. There are some straight up scary locations in this game, but they stand out and are generally easy to notice. The list is all about out of the way or easy to dismiss locations, and the Stargazer Ruins are a perfect example. It's an odd, obscure, and kind of melancholy place that, frankly, it's the type of place these games do fantastic. When you first pass by, it seems like another crumbling ruin in the middle of nowhere. There aren't any noticeable landmarks or buildings that make the place seem worth exploring, so a lot of players just walk right on past. They might notice its most defining feature, the strange jellyfish creature that for some reason seems to be looking for their sister. You can hear whispers all over the place, but it might take a while to realize that yes, it's the jellyfish doing that.
Where did you go?
That might seem like the end of it, just a weird encounter, in a game that's full of weird encounters. But there is something you can do. If you have the spirit jellyfish ashes, you can summon them here, and the two jellyfish will actually have a conversation before disappearing.
Dear sister, you find me here. No time to waste. Let's see the stars.
This is, do I even need to say it? Extremely weird and off-putting. It doesn't just confirm that these jellyfish creatures are basically ghosts and that they're not just mindless monsters. It also shows that spirit ashes that you have and control aren't mindless. Some of them are like little girls who died tragically, never having the chance to look at the stars. It makes implications about something that generally doesn't really come up, the nature of something. It's neat, but also, as with most things in Elden Ring, it's equally tragic and bizarre. At number 5 is Red Dead Redemption 2's Tall Trees Mass Gravesite. You think you know everything about this game, but it keeps on giving. I'm serious here. I didn't know about this location before starting this list. I thought I knew everything there was to know about Red Dead, but nope. What makes it so easy to pass up is there isn't really any reason to find it. There's nothing nearby, no quest associated with it. It's just a creepy little detail you can find out there that's unnerving, and that's about it. Around Tall Trees, a little south of the L, you can find this easy to miss location in a ditch just filled with dead bodies. That would be unnerving enough, but these guys are all wearing matching clothes, and it's unclear how any of them died. A lot of them seem to have been gagged or have bags over their heads, and from the level of decomposition, it seems like these guys haven't been out here that long. Like, they're mostly intact. Stumble across this place at night is pretty dang freaky. I mean, look at this. It's kind of horrific in a strange way. Some of these guys have clown paint on some of their masks too, which is what happened? To top it off, there's a bee, like the letter B, made out of human limbs nearby, which matches the letter on their uniforms. As it turns out, these guys were all members of the Blackwater Athletic Club. You can find out more about them in a newspaper article about how they've gone missing, how their families fear the worst. Well, their families were right, but that's where the trail runs cold. You never investigate this. You never really find out who did it. It's just something left unsolved in Red Dead 2. And number 4 is Ghostwire Tokyo's School, probably the most elaborate quest on this list. I think it earns a spot because of how easy to pass it up it is. It wasn't even in the game when it first launched. They added it over a year, kind of out of nowhere too. There's just something about a school at night that makes it perfect for horror. The long hallways, the empty spaces, the uniform, repeated features that make a school appear perfectly normal during the day, but much creepier at night. Ghostwire plays into that perfectly with this unpleasant school quest that starts with you clearing the halls of corruption before having to deal with a murderous life-size organ model, which may be the scariest thing in the entire game. It plays by Weeping Angel's rules, where it only moves if you're not looking at it. That, of course, wouldn't be much of a problem if all you had to do was get away. But the game throws puzzles at you and exploration as well, so keeping your head turned at all times can be tricky. Makes dealing with this guy a challenge rather than a roadblock. It is, I mean, in all seriousness, an excellent quest that makes great use of the setting. If you were maybe a little disappointed by the lack of horror in a game about ghosts and stuff, give this side quest a try. It's creepy as hell. And number 3 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the local recluse's house. A Star Wars game is about the last place you'd find something legitimately creepy, at least that you would expect. But this game pulls this weird little encounter off absolutely perfectly. In Rambler's Reach, there's this little hut that you cannot get into for most of the game. It's just sitting there, taunting you into entering, but it takes so long to finally get the tools to access this place that it's likely you'll just forget about it and move on. If you actually do go inside, there's a surprisingly creepy moment where you talk to the owner and have to mind trick him into letting you stay. And then if you explore downstairs, you find a dead body on a chair, you touch him, you remember his final moments, revealing the guy upstairs that killed him.
Brother, don't ignore me. You can't stop me. I won't let you! There's still time. Time to go, to walk away.
It's creepy enough, but you turn around and he's right there. Killing him isn't hard, but man, it's a hell of a jump scare. And it's super effective because it's a game that does not have jump scares. And number 2 is Baldur's Gate 3's Chosen's Room. One of the games that's packed with detail no matter where you go. There's tons of easy-to-miss secrets and little hidden stories all over the place. A lot of the game has a kind of creepy horror atmosphere, but there's one spot in particular that's so easy to overlook. But it does have a ton going on. It's the Chosen's Room in the Temple of Baal. For most players, you won't even see this room until after you've dealt with it, the whole temple. So you're probably ready to head out. And there's not really any noteworthy loot, so it's easy to just come in, not really notice anything, and leave. But there's a lot of creepy little details here. Like the dead body, for instance. You might dismiss it as another corpse among many, but if you take a second, look at it, it's easy to tell that it's actually the Sinister Urge, a special origin character that has no canon appearance, but is always shown as being an albino dragonkin. This implies that if you don't play as him, you're doomed to meet his grisly fate. That's strange enough, but look over by the bed and you'll find his grotesque mummified corpse impaled on spikes and on display. It's a disturbing image, but there's so much more to find if you use a spell that lets you talk to the dead. Yeah, it doesn't just work on in-game corpses. You can use the spell on any corpse, and this guy's got a story to tell.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
It's a disturbing tale of family intrigue I won't repeat here, but to make a long story short, it's gross. Murder, incest, more murder, messed up. And finally at number 1 is Assassin's Creed Valhalla's creepy ghost spot. I don't know what really the deal is here, but this random clearing in Jotunheim, you go here and out of nowhere, there's this creepy as hell shadow creature that appears to loom over you. Doesn't do anything. It only appears in this one spot, but it's super detailed and very mysterious. There's nothing around that really explains it. It's just there, projected onto the deep fog, and there's nothing you can do to interact with it. It's just this weird thing that's not terrifying or anything, but it's creepy. Especially if you're playing late at night, at the point where you're tired but not necessarily sleepy. Everything, it makes you jumpy and paranoid, and you start thinking of stuff that you know is dumb, but it doesn't matter. This particular location isn't like the most terrifying or anything, but it's exactly the sort of place that sticks in your memory a long time after you experience it, just because it's something you stumbled onto rather than something the game was like slowly pushing you towards. Like, again, you could completely miss this. You could never see it. And there's something about that that makes it much, much weirder. It's little things like this that make open world games really memorable. You got hundreds of hours of mindless crap hunting, but these weird little events that really stick with you. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter, Falcon Hero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.